What's up, Shredheads? In this video, we are going to react to Logan Paul's $150,000 first edition PSA 10 base set Charizard pickup that he bought from Gary from Pawn Stars a couple of weeks back prior to him doing his first edition base set box break. Ever since then, Pokemon prices have been going absolutely mental, even more mental than what we've seen all through 2020. During that first edition box break, Rapper Logic posted that he was bidding on a Charizard, which ended up costing him $220,000. The result of this base set box break, the influencers coming into the hobby, has been absolutely massive for prices. Loads of collectors feel like they're being priced out of the market, and they don't like the fact that people like Logan Paul are coming into the hobby. In this video, I'm going to talk about the effect that influencers like Logan Paul has had and are having on Pokemon, on the prices, for collectors, for investors, and why Shreddy thinks this is a good thing for the hobby. So, let's get ready, Shreddy, and go.
Are you ready for Shreddy?
So this is the video that Logan Paul uploaded, I think 2 days ago. And what we're going to do is just watch it, and I'm going to kind of give my thoughts, my commentary as we go through. Yes, I've already seen this, so it's not a reaction video in terms of, oh, I'm seeing it for the first time. It's more a case of me watching it, giving commentary as we go through.
Just kidding. We're actually here to, and I'm kind of like embarrassed to say this.
So, interested to see that he's actually saying there that he's embarrassed to even say that he's getting these cards. From looking at this video on the Logan Paul box break video, it looks like his mates aren't into collecting Pokemon at all. They've got no interest in it. Maybe they didn't like it as a kid. It just seems like they are not interested in Pokemon at all. Whereas Logan Paul seems like one of those lapsed fans. He loved it when he was a kid, is what the impression that I get from this. A lot of people online is saying that, oh, he doesn't like it, he's just doing it for the money. I think if he was just doing it for the money, he could do other things to just do it for the money. I think he's a guy with genuine passion from his childhood, and he's kind of just being tipped off, like, oh, there's potentially money to be made in Pokemon, take a look into it. He obviously enjoys it. So yes, there's a money element to it. He actually says that in just a couple of moments, which we'll get to in a second. But for those that are doubting that he's a fan, the guy has a Squirtle tattoo. And I just get the impression that when he was a kid, he loved Pokemon, like most of us collectors do.
Yeah, you guessed it, a Pokemon card. Or attempt to buy anyway. Okay, so Pawn Stars, the show. We all know it, we all love it. About
Charizard
3 years ago,
King.
a guy named Gary went on the show. He had like a beautiful Charizard.
So I don't know if Gary got hate for this or not at the time, but Gary went on Pawn Stars purely, and he says this later in the video, purely just to kind of, for some clout, purely just to get some popularity and some eyes on Pokemon. He says that later in the video he had no intentions at all to sell to Pawn Stars. He just did it to get some, you know, raise the profile of Pokemon, get some mainstream exposure on it. I don't know if he got hate for that, but it seems like the influencers now are getting hate for trying to get exposure to the hobby. And unless... I just don't see why people don't want the hobby to grow. I don't see why people are angry that prices are going up. I mean, what's the point in collecting something if it always remains worthless? Like, I don't collect purely for the money, but it's nice to have these assets that are raising, and as they're raising, it's getting more people interested in the hobby.
He has a card I really want. Actually, he has 2 of them. They're the only 2 in the world. It is a BGS.
So there's actually 3 in the world now. One was graded, so there's 3. One was graded maybe about a week ago. I saw it going around on Instagram, so there's actually 3 of these cards now. Remember, this video was made a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks before the box break, which was actually last weekend.
S10, pristine, golden, first edition Charizard. Now, I've actually tried to buy a 10 Charizard from him before, and he actually told me he'd never sell it.
So someone like Gary just isn't really bothered about money. I've heard him saying on the Pokenomics YouTube channel the guy's probably got loads of money or enough money for what he needs. He's not that interested in money, is the impression that I get from Gary. So for him to sell and him to decide to sell, you think of the experience that's... There you go. So he says there he's done buying things that won't make him money, wasting money on Lamborghinis, things like that. He's loaded. This guy's absolutely loaded. So he's looking to buy Pokemon cards because he's interested in it. He wants to collect damn adverts. He's interested in the hobby. And he sees it as, yes, it's a chance to make money down the line as a bit of an investment. So it's just Gary talking about some of the cards and the story behind the story of the Charizard cards that he pulled. You can actually see in the corner there to Jumbo Legend. Well, we'll see the camera go back. But you could see a Jumbo Legendary card.
No, that's impossible.
What, you want to see a couple of those?
Please.
Really?
Please.
So I wonder if he keeps many of these cards just in his house randomly, or if he's kind of specifically brought them to his house for this video, because that's a lot of money to just be sat in your house if he doesn't. There you go.
Because when you went on Pawn Stars,
Yes.
you were asking for $500,000.
Surely Gary keeps these not in his house.
Not really.
You just did it for clout.
What are those cards worth today?
In there you see he's just said he didn't really go on to sell the cards, it was just done for clout, just going on to raise the popularity of Pokemon. And that's just a mental sight for me to see, like, so many Charizards first edition PSA 10
This is how I feel.
in one guy's hand. It's just mental that he owns so many. Obviously it comes as no surprise, anybody watching this, anybody who knows me will know Gary, but it's just still crazy for me to kind of commentate on. So I get the impression as well that I think this guy in the corner here is called Mike, and I don't know who that girl is, but I get the impression that these don't give a shit at all, and they're kind of pretty, well, at least her, she's just bored. Not, these guys aren't really interested.
20 messages a day from all the big guys. Justin Bieber contacted me.
Another celebrity there who everyone knows is into Pokemon, but again, someone who's willing to spend big money.
I also had a guy offer in Montana to trade for a house.
Mental.
A house for this car?
Yeah,
Mental.
$400,000. Take my daughter. Take my money.
Don't take my Charizard.
Why am I holding it?
So there's a lot of people out there that we probably don't get to hear from all the time, because then maybe he's not celebrities, like that guy who's just offered to trade him a house, $400,000 house. You don't see those making headline, you don't see those on Instagram all the time because, you know, they're not a celebrity, but the fact that you've got these celebrities involved, yeah, it's going to get more eyes on the hobby. So yeah, he just goes and talks to his son about, you know, negotiating for the card. Now, I genuinely feel that this video will have been filmed for the audience, filmed for the publicity. I think that this deal would have been set in place before Logan went out to see Gary. I don't think it was just kind of, he was going, oh, I'm going to try and buy a BGS 10 off him, and then he gets there, realises, I can't buy one. Oh, well, I'm going to buy the PSA 10 instead. I genuinely think that this deal would have all been set up prior. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I'd like to actually do a chat with Gary to maybe talk to him in a bit more detail about this. So we'll see. Hopefully I can speak to Gary about that. I had a couple of chats with him on Instagram. Interesting analogy there. We got to speak to Gary about that to see if it actually was done in advance or not. We'll see. So yeah, this is his son basically just saying he wouldn't. So we'll just skip forward just a little bit until it comes back to Logan kind of trying to make the offer and make the deal.
And I thought, surely I could walk up in your house that you so nicely invited us in and give you an offer for your BGS 10 Charizard. After talking with you, I'm not even going to attempt to do that.
So it's interesting that, you know, someone with so much money, these collectibles, it like literally sometimes say like people, true collectors will not sell and the price doesn't matter. Some guys just will not sell for whatever reason. He could have probably offered $500,000, 200 grand more than what he's been offered before, and Gary probably wouldn't have sold. But if he said yes, then there's a new price set. Like, there's only 2 of these, well, 3 in the world now. They don't sell.
Honestly, disappoint anybody.
I'm never disappointed. Nothing's personal. I get it, and I'm envious of your passion for the hobby.
Right.
I hope to have a sliver of that, and I'd like to believe maybe I do. But you know, the first thing you handed me.
So again, in the background there, I just don't think his mate Mike in that last kind of gives a shit about what's going on here.
But I am prepared to give you an offer that you can't refuse. All right, Gary. You can say no.
And I probably will.
I understand. Nothing personal. Nothing personal.
No, and that wouldn't be personal.
And totally. Yeah. In my collection, in my Pokemon hunting, the PSA 10 Charizard is the last thing that I'm looking for. So at this very moment in time, right now, I am prepared to give you $150,000.
Show me the money. It's all about the money. What does he say?
First edition Charizards.
We obviously know there's no suspense in this because he says he bought it for 150 grand. So this bit of suspense in the video, I've seen other YouTubers reacting to this. We know he's going to buy it, so there's no suspense in it at all. He obviously says yes, and Logan gets the cards.
That's the most I've been offered.
There you go, biggest offer he's ever had for it. Yes, he sells the card for 150 grand.
Yeah, and said no, obviously. You know, all 3 times.
But Gary goes on to say, in a couple of seconds, he hasn't done it for the money, and I kind of believe that. Don't get me wrong, he's getting $150,000. It's nice. Like, he says he's not doing it for the money. That is a small element, but I genuinely think that from the conversations, the interviews, the stuff that I've seen from Gary, I've seen on the Pokenomics YouTube channel the video that there was on last week, I think, that Gary was saying in kind of the mid-2000s, him and a couple of other collectors were trying to say, look, what can we do to try and keep the hobby alive, because he didn't want Pokemon to die, he didn't want the collector, you know, Pokemon card collecting to die out.
I just might do it.
And I think that
I want you to know it's not
him taking part in this video with Logan Paul is getting a load of exposure. By the fact that he's selling it, it's allowing Logan Paul to then push this content out there and reach a massive audience. There we go. Yes. Spoiler alert. We already knew it was going to happen. So he's got the card, 150 grand. So another interesting point there Logan Paul mentions is he says this was the last thing in his collection that he needs. Now, Logan Paul mentioned a couple of videos ago that he had on his first Pokemon video, which was the kind of booster box break advert, that he had 2 more Pokemon videos to come. This would be the first one. He did the box break, so there should be a second video somewhere he's alluded to. And on top of that, in the box break video, I'm sure he said he was doing another box break. He didn't say what it would be, but I'm sure he said, someone in the comments down below, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure he said that he was going to be doing another box break. So there's still going to be another Pokemon video to come out from Logan Paul, but he said there that he's completed his collection. I would imagine his collection is the first edition base set in PSA 10s, but we don't know. I've not spoken to Logan Paul about it, I've not asked him what it is, but it'd be interesting to see what his collection is now, because he's been opening unlimited base set cards. He's obviously got these PSA 10 first edition cards. So we'll pause it there. So it is interesting. Look at that. There's an ad going to be playing in 4 seconds, which would be 1 second before the video ends. So what's the takeaways from this? A load of people are hating on the fact that Logan Paul's came to the hobby. Now, before Logan Paul got into Pokemon, I had no idea who he was. I'd never heard of him. It's only through him being entered into Pokemon and me kind of hearing who he is. He's this famous YouTuber. I've become aware of who he is. I don't know what he's famous for other than he had, you know, some bad publicity over this suicide video in Japan, which, yeah, it sounds like an absolute scumbag move. I don't know much about it. So that does sound like a negative about his character. However, because I don't know too much about him and I'm not into cancel culture, I don't want to delve too much into that because, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about him as a person to pass judgment. I don't know enough about him as a persona to pass judgment. I'm talking about an influencer of his level, of his richness, coming into the hobby, giving it this kind of exposure. The only people, in my opinion, who are butthurt about these prices are people who can't afford them. But if you cannot afford them, if you're a true collector, then I've got to ask you why you haven't got some of these cards in your collection already. I built up my collection way back when I was a kid, way back 12 years ago, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was getting back into the hobby. Granted, I wasn't I wasn't a PSA, I wasn't a graded collector, I was a raw binder collector, but I completed a lot of my goals back then, and I'm glad I did, because a lot of those cards now are way, way more expensive than I would have ever wanted to pay for them. And even this year, I've been buying more cards and putting more into my collection. And that's because I'm a true Pokemon fan. I've been passionate about it. But I did a lot of my collecting back, 10, 12 years ago. I understand there's younger fans and younger collectors than me. But even if you're say in your mid-20s, you've still had plenty of time to be able to buy these cards that you love. The only people that kind of haven't had time to buy these cards is probably teenagers now. They've kind of looked out. They've kind of had bad luck and not being able to do it. But any adult collectors, any 90s kids at least, who've wanted these cards, have had plenty of time to do it. So to say, it's ruining it for true collectors, well, how much of a collector are you if these cards that you now can't buy, you already don't own? Yeah, everyone can't go and buy a PSA 10. Even paying a couple of £1,000 for a card is out of reach for some people. And that's fine, I completely get it. But the fact that a lot of these cards are available in raw format, and if you don't already own them and you consider yourself a true collector, why have you been sleeping on Pokemon? Why have you been sleeping on those certain cards? I think anyone who can't afford it is obviously annoyed because it's now out of reach for them. And I do get it. It's frustrating. It's understandable. There's still cards out there that are too expensive for me. So I understand the frustration, but you can't be expecting things to stay the same forever. Pokemon, over 20 years, if it hadn't grown, if it hadn't had price increases, as a brand, as a franchise, there'd be something wrong. The fact that it is grown, the fact that it is still as relevant as ever, the fact that, you've got all these, lapsed fans returning back to the hobby now, and Logan Paul's going to bring a lot in. I think it's just true testament to Pokemon, to the trading card game, to the franchise, and to the hobby in general. Now, for those that are saying Pokemon is too expensive and blah, 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 it's not. It's genuinely not. All you need to do is adapt, react. Michael Gary Scott quote there. All you need to do, though, is if you are kind of annoyed about the prices and the price increases and you're frustrated, change your goals. Like, I would like a Lamborghini, yeah? I can't afford one. It's not in my price range. It's not a realistic thing for me to go out and think about buying. So I don't sit and moan about the prices. How many of these people that have been moaning about the price increases this year have ever considered buying a first edition base set booster pack? Never mind a box, a pack. How many of these people have ever considered buying a first edition base set Charizard? Probably the people who are complaining, they've probably never moaned about that. I just do not understand the hate for why something that you love is being enjoyed by other people. And yes, you're going to have people coming into the hobby, investors, and I know Collectables Guru on Instagram is one of these people that is kind of trying to pretend he likes Pokemon, but then in DMs, he's saying he doesn't like Pokemon. Someone like Collectables Guru is potentially dangerous and bad, not just for collectors, but for investors as well, because if he's partnered up with Logan Paul and he's reaching out to his audience and just giving this false information, like I've covered in the previous video on the box break, but as a bit of a recap, saying a Bulbasaur was $30,000, saying that heavy packs were $45,000. Logan Paul saw through that straight away. I don't think that Logan Paul will be continuing his relationship with Collectables Guru after the stuff that came out online. That kind of exposure is bad, and I can see why people are annoyed at that. However, doing a box break, making content about Pokemon, and Logan Paul coming in and buying Pokemon, don't see a problem with that whatsoever, and I genuinely don't see why any collectors would have a problem with that. I'm interested though to hear what you guys think. Do you think Logan Paul is bad for Pokemon? Do you not really care? Do you think this extra exposure is good for Pokemon? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested to see what you guys think. If you don't like it, don't just hit the thumbs down in the video. Write a comment, let me know why you don't like it. We can have a bit of a debate and a back and forth in the comments down below about that. So guys, that's it for this video today. If you want to see what my take was on Logan Paul's box break and how it will affect the market, I had a discussion with Big H, aka Trophy Card, on Instagram. You can go and check that video out. I'll put a link down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video, guys. Until next time though, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and remember, collecting ain't no gimmick, it's a lifestyle.